he ever got from back when I used to just ban him every game was his Moonbeam being slightly shorter on the duration as you level it up. But Hero's still pretty OP when you give him free farm.
We definitely saw that right there. Slicks knew what he was doing with that hero, and upwards of 750 GPM I think he had at the end there. Anyways, let's jump into this game first here. Then we'll continue talking on. There you go. So Lion Esports Club versus Too Much Sugar. Again, Too Much Sugar up 1-0 over here as they are on the Hellborn side. Okay, what's going on? Apparently there was some issue. Can't pick. Okay. Wait, are we good? Okay, I think we're fine. Anyways, we are moving along with this game with that. So it sounds like you were watching that first game then.
We play the winner, man. Of course I was watching.
Of course. Got to do that research. That's a good point. Yeah, didn't really come through. I mean, the Devour pickup. Did you think there was a chance when I said there wasn't, or was it pretty?
I don't know. The thing is, it was just a really powerful draft, and I mean, like if you put that exact lineup into the game 3 months ago, like you would have been like, holy crap, how'd they get these heroes? And
Yeah.
the captain's pick draft mode has kind of mixed things up a bit. People really don't know how to get those powerful combinations, and they also don't really see the power ones coming. But I mean, Pebble's Moon Queen tree with couple supports is a pretty insane combination, especially when you run a suicide against the Moon Queen and they win mid. The key is really just mid. The big turning point was Haxrin getting the solo Bloodlust on Torturer because Super KG missed the hook on a Luna. So you have wasted time on Tempest, wasting Devour's mana, and Haxrin gets solo experience on a Bloodlust. And then they get 2 kills mid, and that's pretty much the game right there. Mid's going to decide it more often than not when it's a 2v2.
Yeah, pretty much snowball from the beginning there is what it comes down to. And yeah, Haxrin had a hell of a game as it picked up too. Real quickly though, I'm also curious, what did you think about the Grenix pickup? You think that could work? I mean,
it's the same theory as the Scout.
Yeah.
It's pretty good in a 1v2 situation. I actually thought the Grenix did quite well. I really feel like the game mostly came down to 2 things, mostly just mid doing as poorly as they did, and top lane Keeper did very well. And obviously they took 3 towers bottom in, I think, the first 9 minutes of the game. And I always say when you take 2 towers in the short lane, you're in a pretty good spot. When you take 3, you got to try to lose. I mean, Trent Slicks TP'd back, and I think he had 2,500 gold. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, he that definitely showed after that especially. So anyways, that's obviously led to a victory for Too Much Sugar. We got to move along into this game, though. I mean, so far, we're already picking up the picks. So real quickly on the bans, it was Lodestone, Pebbles, Keeper, and Scout. And you see the picks in front of you. Anything standing out, Swindle?
Yeah, the big thing here is that Lions got Ophelia, NG, Wild Soul, so they have their jungler and their suicide combination. If Hanskin's smart, and I'm pretty sure he is, he's going to be banning out Parasite followed by Tempest because you do not want to give away that jungler Warbeast combination when you've secured such a strong suicide to go with your jungler. Scout's banned as well, so I expect Moon is now going to try and run. He's got a couple of options here. He can either, because he's not getting a jungler, that's for sure. So he's either going to be running a tri-lane or a double dual lane with Warbeast Suicide. You can do a lot of different things. Warbeast is really popular in the new meta, especially when you can run tri-lanes because of that Warcry ability, and it makes your aggressive tri-lane much more powerful. He also gives you the ability to jungle. You can just do lots of things. They can even 2-2 with a Warbeast jungle and just ditch the Suicide. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, see how it picks up here. Sure enough, as you guessed, though, Hanskin is a smart guy. Parasite and Tempest are his 2 bans. I mean, what of that? tmsR, I mean, they passed up those 2 heroes, obviously, to get to that point. Do you think that they missed something there, or are you fine with them going the Master and the Torture and ultimately the Warbeast?
I don't think the Torturer was the greatest pick once they saw the Ophelia taken.
Yeah.
I would have probably countered that with either with a Parasite, to be honest, or maybe even the Tempest. But they're still in a fairly decent spot with their lineup. MOA is very powerful against those heroes. And Engineer, I mean, I'm not really a fan of Moon's second ban there. I think he should be banning out the melee initiators, maybe even Devourer here, because Engineer is quite a strong hero, especially mid, but he's really only powerful when you give him like a really nice lead stun to go with. So I mean, if they don't ban it, I'd expect them to definitely pick up either a Mag, Rally, or that Devo. And honestly, I just hate Devourer, so that's what I would be banning, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, Super KG again. Even though the last game wasn't one of his best Devourer games, I mean, he has plenty of history when it comes to the play that hero well, especially with the Engineer combination. Can be annoying to deal with. So you see the Monkey King, and I mean, that kind of fits that to an extent.
I forgot him, but that was a good ban. Yeah, they do that a lot, and it's really annoying.
Yeah. That's another hero that he is known to play.
The Sandwraith ban is very strange to me. I don't really see how they could run a Sandwraith in this game. It's a really awful pick against a hero like Wild Soul. I would have liked to see them maybe take out something that they could have comboed with those 2 supports. In this game, I don't know, honestly. They've got a lot of options, both teams. I'd expect Hanskin here to pick his favorite melee initiator. I'm going to go with Rally, Deadwood, or Mag. Oh, Pest. I forgot Pestilence, man. I'm killing myself. But yeah, Pest. They've been running that a lot. NG Pest's actually a pretty formidable lane. If they can land a stun on you, you're in trouble. So I expect Moon to try and run a dual range lane against that because there's really nothing a Pest can do there.
How dare you don't predict every single pick and ban exactly?
I know. It
sucks
too because I've been watching their scrims and they always pick Pestilence when they run Ophelia Wild Soul and I just totally forgot.
Well, what are your thoughts on Pestilence as being a middle option with, say, an engineer here? Do you think he is the best for that, or would you like to see him more of that short lane role?
Well, he's definitely not suited for the short lane. Well, unless you mean free farm, in that case, I like that.
That's what I mean.
The only reason he's strong, but when you go against 2 range, you have a really difficult time, and unlike a lot of other heroes, he doesn't really utilize the bottle properly. He also, it's not a hero like Pebbles, like, okay, you get a blink, you're good to go. Pestilence kind of needs a little bit more. Like, I think you probably hit your maximum effectiveness when you hit blink BKB timing.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard to get that when you have a weak lane mid. So it's really going to just come down to how much Hans can help them out. The DS pick to finish, I like that. The thing is, their lanes are very predictable. I mean, they could, in theory, go aggressive with the Ophelia, but, I mean, we can pretty much expect to see a Wild Soul Suicide, Engineer Pestilence mid, and a DS short lane. So tmsR has a lot of options. I mean, they could ward up Ophelia's woods in 2-2-1. They could go aggressive with the tri-lane and ward their own woods while also chasing out Ophelia. Like, they have tons of options here. And their last pick is pretty much going to be their last power hero. They have MOA, Tort, Aluna. Obviously, 2 of those are going to be support. I'd assume MOA is going to be played as more of the carry role. And then this last pick, they look at their entire lineup of the Legion side, and they just think, what hero do we want to give free farm or a solo lane to that would make the biggest impact on this game?
Yeah, we'll see what tmsR decides that hero is. And I see that Dimension Shaman pick up, and not to say that that I would have gone with this other pick, but it made me actually think of Lion in general. Soul Reaper actually might have fit pretty well here too for Lion Esports Club. Kind of has that, the similar heal effect and whatnot. Could be that short lane presence, great laning presence as well. But they go with Dimension Shaman in the end, so.
Soul Reaper requires a little too much farm. They already have a Pesty and a Wild Soul, plus Ophelia's Hog in the jungle. So I like DS because he just takes his farm from lane. I think that was pretty good pick. Soul Reaper could have worked, but I think DS is a little more optimal. Witch Slayer could have been nice too, but DS is just better synergy with other minus armor.
Yeah. So that's how their 5-man roster is going to finish. Moomy are going down to the wire here. Make sure they actually didn't DC or anything like that. But okay, yeah. Ooh, Dampier. So that answers that question.
Not a fan of that one.
No?
It's got potential, but I feel like there were a lot of better heroes they could have picked there. Dampier is. I was thinking they would go Zephyr, but then I think to myself, no, because he's playing against retarded amounts of minus armor. It's the same problem with Dampier. He's just gonna have a really difficult time. I would love an agility hero that could get a Geos just so that you can dispel all that minus armor, the root, the entangles, etc. But Dampier's got potential. If he gets a Grimoire and a Blink early on, he can snowball. But he's gonna have a really difficult game if Pestilence and Wild Soul get ahead.
Yeah, Nox more so recently playing for Team Excellent. He's playing that Dampier every now and then. We've seen it a couple times, and definitely does snowball with that hero. So again, it is possible, but we'll see if Haxorn's able to pull that off here. So into the laning phase we go now, as far as this beginning. So I mean, you see both teams again for the most part heading down towards that bottom lane. It looks like you got Lion Esports Club sending 4 down here. God, for a second I thought that was Tremble. I'm like, wait, they got Tremble? So what? No, that actually is Pestilence.
Not this game. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
This is the key, though. You see Torture's got both a Rev and 2 wards. Aluna's got a ward as well, a counter. They're running down with 5. Keizu not scouting with Wolves just yet, but maybe he'll do that in a little bit. Oh, no, they're just kidding. They're in front. I didn't see them for a second. MOA, Dampier, Tort, Aluna running in. And there's no bear in front right now for the Legion side, but it looks like they're going to be going for the more aggressive warding up of the camps, and then they're going to switch to a 2-2-1.
Mm-hmm. See right there, the Hellhounds again, getting that information, at least seeing where they are. Aluna running this way. There's the bear going to be propped back by Wild. So, Kegstun going to clear up the trees over there as well. Get the ward of sight down.
The thing is, they had vision of the Hellborn team that whole time, so Hanskin should know that Rev is in the right side of his camp, so we should be able to get that very easily. Yeah. As you can see, he already has the Crow and the counter wards, I believe. No counter. He's got to have counter wards.
2 raids, yeah.
Where?
Hanskin's being delivered on the courier.
Oh, okay, phew. Yeah. I was going to say, like, what is going on here? But yeah, he's got the Crow and the counter wards. So yeah, he should be able to get this on his first guess. I really hope he doesn't place it to the left because he should know for sure that it's on the right. And if he gets that, that's a very big help to him. And I believe he will get it. And he does.
Is that close? Yeah, that is close enough.
Yeah, that's a big deal. If he only gets this is where an Ophelia wants to start, and if he can't get this camp open, it's just a really huge hassle for him. This also means that his jungle is pretty much going to be unimpeded. Only one camp is blocked, so this will give the Legion team a huge advantage and experience in the early phases of the game.
Yeah. So as expected, though, when it comes to the laning phase, you said especially the Legion team, pretty predictable. Hellborn side, it seems like it pretty much came down to what you would have expected as well. Now, this does match. You bring out the point, though. You know, Pestilence being in this middle matchup, going up against a double range, maybe susceptible to this. So it's safe to say you expect the Luna Master of Arms to actually win this middle lane here.
I mean, it all depends on the lane control. Legion's Alliance has some decent decent lane control at the moment, but MOA Luna should dominate this lane. It's all going to come down to Hanskin's rotations. The one thing to note is that DS will dominate this bottom lane, and Dampier up top. Like again, this is the problem with running a hero like Dampier against this Wild Soul. Yeah, he'll free farm, but he's not going to be able to really go for kills until he's level 6, and they're not really going to be able to shut him down. So I give the early laning phase advantage a big lead to Lions here. As you can see, they're already 300 XP ahead. It goes up by about 400 to 500 per minute as Ophelia continues to farm. And like I said, he's already level 3. I mean, if he can grab 2 creeps and just start pushing bottom, there's no response possible for the Hellborn team.
Yeah, I mean, you see Warby's where he's at right now. He's just pulling the creep wave, actually. Double creep wave even, just kind of keeping them kited around. This is actually interesting stuff going on by KZ. There's the Hellhound's going to be picked off and going to lead them into the creep wave. So managing to get a double creep wave right there. Talk about some, I guess, some good lane control coming out from KZ at the bottom lane right there. But
yeah, that's actually something I would have liked to see Jonas and Fan do up top, because you can actually deny entire waves, as you just saw right there.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. It's one of the most annoying things in the game.
Middle lane. Master of Arms actually might be in some trouble. The gank coming in with the Catman Champion. One more auto attack should do it. Can they find him? Yes, they can. Ophelia's going to survive as well. So there you go. You mentioned start some movement. Sure enough, gets the bloodlust kill there.
Big kill, very big kill. See, the thing is, Aluna was up top checking that rune, and MOA should have, you know, that's where a little miscommunication comes down. Slicks is just a little out of position there. He has no Aluna to help him, and he goes down, and that's a big kill. You cannot understate how important that was. I believe the Bloodlust went to Pestilence, which is the one hero you don't want to get the Bloodlust, and now they're going to have a much easier time in this middle lane. In fact, they might even start to win it, and this makes the next gank for Ophelia even easier.
How about, speaking of Pestilence, it's going to be locked down right here. A little bit of damage, I don't think it's going to be a kill, but yeah, just some harassment. How about his build, by the way? He has the 1 level Nagore, the 2 in Impale, and not going to flight just yet. Do you agree with that? Would you like to see him now level up the flight here, or fine with the Gore?
I mean, the Gore buff was nice, but I think flight's necessary. I could see, I've seen a lot of 2-2-1s going around, 2 in flight, 2 in Impale, and 1 in the Gore, but I'm really not a fan. I think you need the early levels of flight, just so you can get that second stun off with ease. And again, like, he's not playing against the melee. How's he really going to be bashing? And I don't like to rely on luck as well.
Yeah. RNG can be both good or really bad, obviously. So we'll see if it comes into play here for Super KG. Playing that Pestilence you mentioned, though, getting that Bloodlust kill. Again, creep farm, not necessarily the most standout, but at least it's holding his own. And
this is the thing. This is one of the reasons I really love the jungler. As you can see, down bottom, DS has 14 CS, Warbeast 7. Up top, Wild Soul has 7 CS as well. So even though Wild Soul's 2 versus 1 and Warbeast is 1 versus 1, their farm really isn't any different. And DS, the only reason he's behind Dampier by so much is because he had a double wave coming in. So in essence, both short laners are doing equally well, but Lions have the advantage of also having a jungler, and that's going to, again, increase their lead by a large amount. Although KZ's doing a really nice job. He's just pulled the Archer wave to the Ancients and farmed them. Something that I think should be changed, because he's farming an Ancient stack with 1 creep wave, but it's good, though, and it's going to help him out with his farm.
Well, that's actually a good point. Yeah, able to do that with the buff to the neutrals, obviously. So making the best of his time. You see right here, Flensmeister going to be reconnecting. But Warbeast, of course, in this role as well, spamming that battle cry. Something else to keep in mind in this laning phase, of course, that they have that advantage. How's Haxorin doing at the top side? I'm sure he is having a good time. Yeah, 24-6 on Dampier. So looking good there. What about Dampier? What about his item build? You think that Grimoire is a necessity, or do you like to see the Dawnbringer even? Where would you like to see him go?
I think Grimoire is the way to go. The thing I most disagree with on Dampier's is the item they choose to go afterwards. But Grimoire is a pretty safe bet. You could go Dawnbringer, but the reason Grimoire is so nice is because all of your spells do more damage. Yeah, it's really, really nice. The buffs to his Bloodthirst, though, once you get the 3 essences up, it gives you an extra 30 attack speed. So I think you can build for more of that physical DPS presence. My brother's suggestion is you split the Grimoire into a Dawnbringer later on, but that's like a lot of gold, so
It is, yeah.
we can deal with that in the future. You can go the Frost Lightbrand part plus Geos, and then you do lots of damage, and I really like that. But
Yeah.
that's way in the future.
Well, and, you know, on top of that too, when could go from game to game as well. I mean, you do look at the lineup that the Hellborn team has. They have a Master of Arms that's going to get some decent farm ideally. A Warbeast that ideally will start recovering and be more that late game presence as well. So, you know, for me personally, I think this is kind of a different game almost, where you'd rather see something like a Sheepstick on Dampier, more utility, more crowd control in that sense, rather than more of the, you know, that carrying potential even. But at the same time, he is getting the free farm, so.
Yeah, and as you can see in mid, even though they did get that Bloodlust, Pestilence 11-3, Master of Arms 18-11. So as many denies as Pesty does CS, and that's partly due to the double range, but they also have the War Cry, which is now level 2. So their MOA is hitting for 80 damage a hit. I mean, they just cannot win this lane. It's just not possible.
Yeah. While still doing some Ancients of her own in the meantime. You see Pestilence actually taking some good damage right there. Going to be fine, though. Torture is keeping him distracted, though. Fitsuke kind of boxing him out the best that he can. Boo-Boo's low on life, but I think it's going to be fine in the end. Torture kind of wants to go on, but you see Engineer also kind of creeping in nearby, too. So Fitsuke playing very, very safe here. Dampier, though, again, just continue that free farm, just like Demented Shaman is, though. But Dampier having the much better time as far as GPM especially. 365 gold per minute already with the Blood Chalice and boots here.
And a thing to note here, the ward placed by Moon on that bottom hill does have vision of Ophelia posturing to dive on this bottom lane. Ooh, we missed the kill mid.
Yeah, no, I got it on camera at least. I mean, that was just simply good coordination by Master of Arms and the power throw coming out from Moonmeander.
Sorry, they would have been able to kill that Warbeast, but that ward sees the dive, so KZU was smartly getting back. They will be able to push the spot tower. In the meantime, Dampier is diving really hard up top. He just lost all of his health. An easy health pot from Jonasum fan, and he will survive. The bottom tower for Legion will go down, though, and that's going to give them a nice gold boost, helping out the Pestilence even more. Oh. Ooh.
Oh, they want this. They want this. Warbeast's in trouble. Gonna use a battle cry just before Healing Wave. Not going to be enough for the kill. The Hellhound's coming in now, actually. And Demented Shaman almost needs to be a little bit careful. You do see also Ophelia pushed back, so very close back and forth there. It ain't over just yet. Aluna's running over, however, Invisible Engineer sitting right on top of Moonmeander, but he is going to be fine, and, well, that's the end result. Tower kill in favor of Lion, so it actually works out pretty well despite not getting the hero kill in the end.
Oh, Jonasum Van in trouble up top. He's getting dove very hard by Dampier. If he gets a root, though, Dampier will go down. His ultimate is up. Jonasum Van doing some nice juking, and big Ophelia heal. Yeah, Dampier's dead. That was a really bad dive.
Yeah, he's completely boxed in here. There's nowhere to go. Can he find a way out? Can he actually find a way out? I think he can. Torture taking the tower. You look at the port coming in, so it cancels the tower as well as far as damage, and he's fine. Oh, man.
Really needed some Bulldog roots there because that was really unfortunate. If he got just one, it probably would have been a kill. Two would have guaranteed it. So really unfortunate Jonas didn't get lucky there. But his team is ahead, 1,500 gold, which is pretty much 100% that tower, exactly that tower, and 1,000 XP. So they're looking good, and this is the power of Ophelia. Once he hits level 7, you're comparing his farm to that level 4 Tort and that level 4 Luna, and he's just going to be a lot more useful with those minions.
Yeah, already with the Ring of Sorcery. Not getting the boots just yet. What is your take on that? It seems like a lot of Ophelia's maybe pass up on the boots earlier on. Found with him not going the boots here.
Oh yeah, of course. The boots aren't really that necessary. You're waiting for your creeps most of the time to farm the camps anyway, and the Arcane Ring Astrolabe combination is incredibly powerful. The faster you can get it, the better. So roots are always fine being delayed, assuming you're not being... You only need the boots if you're in the aggressive jungle or if somebody's hunting you, but I mean, he's just running around farming, so it's perfectly fine.
Now, what about Flesmeister on Demented Shaman? You yourself have plenty of history playing this hero, of course, and it seems like you even like that Staff of the Master kind of build. What would you like to see on Flensmeister here?
Flensmeister can do a lot of different things. In this game, they're playing against a lot of magic damage, and of course the Warbeast as well. Oh, hang on, he's actually in a little bit of trouble. He's really out of position here. He's auto-attacking the Aluna, but Break, if you want to take over, you can.
Well, he's trying. I mean, Deep of the Master's Call going to come out right there, trying to stay alive. Healing Wave going to come out. Will it be enough for the kill on the Aluna? Will it be enough for Demented Shaman? Poured out, poured out, poured out, poured out. No, he's not going to be in time, though. Master of Arms cuts him off, and he will be picked off. So Aluna does die, but a 1-for-1 exchange right there. Nice kicks on his Warbeast, but he's just too fast with that ulti form. Man, that was close.
DS not really tread swapping that effectively there. He actually healed on strength treads and was on int treads. He was on int, switched to strength, healed. Otherwise, he might have been able to get just enough HP to live through another auto attack. But unfortunately, he was not able to. Up top, you have a lane ward though on Jonas Fan as this top tower is getting pushed pretty hard. Looks like it'll go down. Is Rune up? No, it is not. Another TP canceled as well. That's 2 to the top lane that get canceled.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. So, going back to Dimension Shaman, though, speaking of him, what do you think as far as that build goes?
You talk about DS?
Yeah, DS.
That's fine. It's honestly when you have Ophelia ganking, you want to have that heal maxed out because 5 targets being healed is like ridiculous amounts of damage. They haven't been able to utilize it properly yet, and Kazer's actually getting very farmed. The Ancients have helped him out a lot. He's already got that Abyssal Skull up, so he's doing very well for himself. The Ancients are doubled; they'll be tripled soon, and then the level 7 MOA will go over and take those. So I mean, tmsR is looking pretty good here. It's all going to come down to how Lions react in this mid game because they just need a blink on Pestilence, and then they're in a good spot. But
Yeah.
they're really not. They're not pushing his 5 enough, in my opinion. But that's the power of MOA. I mean, he shows up in a lane, drops the goo, bye push.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, no longer happening. I feel like Dampier might have bought something. He has Steam Boots, Blood Shells, maybe not. I guess we're only around 10 minutes into the game, but it's 411 gold per minute. Nothing on the courier that is his at least. So
Yeah, I don't know what Flensmeister's doing. He's just going really, really aggressive here. And they have vision of all of this posturing as well. So they have a triple stack Ancients on Hellborn now. So it's going to be really big to see what Lions do here. I assume they're going to go push the mid lane, but they want to take those Ancients as well. If they can get a tower in the Ancients, they're going to be in a really good spot in this game. And until this Pesty has Blink, they just don't have the initiation to really take team fights just yet. It's going to be all on tmsR, whether or not they want to fight him or not.
look at the triple Catman champion as well. You talk about the goo, though, coming out from Master of Arms. He puts it down. The Catman Champion's losing some life, but there you go, the Astrolabe Peel. He has Ophelia's Touch in 15 seconds as well, so that may come into play right here. Denying the tower. Nice deny by Slicks. Yeah. Very good timing. That is difficult too, man. I mean,
honestly, like it's well played by Trent to get that attack off, but that's just a mistake by Lions there. There's no reason not to have the Catmans diving in. You don't do that at this level of play. Yeah, there were 2 heroes there. If they just dive in for a second or two, they're gonna have to immediately run away, and they don't get the deny. So I'll give it to Trent, but I really think that Lions could have easily got the tower if they just played a little bit better. They didn't even use the rune, so that was a really big win for tmsR, and now they get the Ancients uncontested.
Yeah, triple stack Ancient is going to be cleared up here. Warbeast even wants what he can take. Kazu, by the way, he's got this Abyssal Skull and Steam Boots well on the way. Going to have them right here most likely after these are cleared out even. So Dampier, by the way, to answer the question, he did go the Light Brand, so I figured he had something, and sure enough, he has a Light Brand now purchased. So on that way to what probably is going to be a Grimoire here for him.
We can pretty much safely assume that.
Got 1,300 gold on Demented Shot. You still like that Gnome's Wisdom choice possible? I mean, there's a lot of physical damage presence here on the Hellborn side.
I didn't address that. I think a Sackstone would be pretty safe, but a barrier could be good too. He and Ophelia have to decide. One of them, I assume, normally you want a barrier Astrolabe pretty early on, especially in this kind of game. A barrier pretty much nullifies Dampier's ability to kill somebody. So I'd like to see one of them grab the barrier, and you see the vestments picked up by DS, and then the other grab the Sackstone. So whatever they'd like to do, I think barrier on Ophelia is probably better here, and Flensmeister can just go for the Sackstone push-put combination, something of that sort. Yeah. Gnomes isn't bad, but it's just an extra armor. The mana regen's not necessary since they have that Arcane Ring.
True. Ring of Sorcery.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Ring of Sorcery.
Fine. Defensive tower here at the bottom lane. Secondary tower is going to be dropping. Will it actually be killed in the end? Oh, Luna stops the TP by Pestilence. I believe he was going to the top lane. Maybe that was middle even, but the tower does fall in their favor, but still, TP was canceled on the Pestilence. So middle tower, though, he's porting in there. The rest of his team is porting, I should say, but you see the Energizer used, and both Master of Arms and Warbeast are away. So yeah, Pestilence is a little greedy right there. Good play, though, by Moonmeter on that Aluna.
I've really never seen Lions seems to be on tilt a little bit. They're getting out positioned really, really hard, and they just seem to be off right now. Their communication doesn't seem to be all there. They haven't stacked Ancients a single time, and their map movements are just really inefficient right now. tmsR is really capitalizing on it heavily. Dampier's going to have his Grimoire up in about 2 to 3 minutes, and then his farm will start to skyrocket. In the meantime, Kazer's already at 300 plus GPM. Slicks is at 350, so they're looking really good right now. And the lineup of Lions is not really a come from behind type of lineup. It's hey, we get an early blink, now we have a mock, and we push all your towers and take map control. But they are forced to static farm in 2 lanes. That's not what you're looking for.
Yeah. And again, Dampier creeping up as well. He hasn't really had much of a, in fact, 0 presence when it comes to hero kills. I mean, there's only been 2 in total, obviously, for his team, and 4 in the total game. But that's something, again, with that Grimoire power coming up, you figure that's where he's going to really start maybe looking to make something happen. He's level 11 on top of that, so the Consume level 2, he already is dealing out a lot of magic damage burst potential at this point. So you talked about the Ancients. They are going to stack them right here, at least, but
And Wild Soul had been farming them, but that's the first stack of the game. When you have a DS Ophelia, you can do Ancients at any time, even triple Dragons. It's very easy. As you can see, once again, tmsR farming their Ancients really efficiently. Dampier is going to push up top, then probably run over to the jungle, do a circuit. 3 heroes on the are going to be doing the Ancients and then farming bottom. So they're looking really good. They have a nice ward here by Steel Kid, so DS can farm up here very safely. And again, though, tmsR can run the stall game, and I don't know if he dies here, I'll be really mad because they have full vision.
I think he is going to be picked off. I mean, he is Dimension Shaman. He can live through quite a bit, but he didn't even put the Unbreakable up right there.
Didn't even power supply. He could have turned that very easily. Got at least a kill or two. I don't know what's going on. Like that is so just such a poor play. That was really inexcusable. I don't know what he was doing there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, that even if I'm able to notice, several mistakes that were made by Flensmeister, you know, something is definitely off. So I agree with you. I mean, something does seem to be a little off for Lions as a team almost. But with that said, I mean, there is still a game here, and we're now 50 minutes in. It's, if anything, still fairly close as far as the overall golden experience is concerned. It's not taken away by any means. So also does have 1830 gold saved up, so getting closer and closer. Pestilence just getting his portal key here. So they have those key items that you keep referring to. At least they have the one in the portal key. Still need that mock on Boo Boo, but they're going to actually still push. I wonder if tmsR is going to find an opportunity to defend it. Pestilence supports bottom. That will get them from pushing the bottom lane. Top lane still being pushed. We're probably going to see some TPs here. Yeah, there's one TP. Will it be in time of vulnerability? Do they have it? No, they don't. Quick tower kill. And Wild Soul actually going to be ported back to base. As Ophelia might not be so lucky. She got caught by the power throw. Hanskins gets spotted. And is he going to get away? Has those boots running. Has an Ophelia's touch as well if necessary. Dampier, though, leaves it on the creep wave, finishing off some creeps. Ophelia's touch coming out right there. He's trying to kill Torturer. He does get the kill on Torturer, actually, with the minion. So I guess kind of making the best of the situation there.
It's still, though, they're just not being efficient. They do get the tower kill up top, but as you can see, if you look at, first of all, they both TP'd bottom, then they don't get the tower in deny range. So they do preserve it for now, but the gold is going to be there for the taking anytime Morbius wants to send in a couple of wolves. Yeah. And again, like, Pestilence does have his blink, but look at the farm now in tmsR. You got a Grimoire up on Haxorin. He's got 1,000 in the bank as well. Kay's gonna have Shrunken Head soon. It's just really not looking good for them. And even though it's 1,000 gold, 5,500 experience, they're actually way further behind than that if you count all. If you take the hero selections into account.
Well, sir, I mean, Pestilence almost even getting caught out just like Flensmeister earlier, but he was able to fly away in time before he gets in too much danger and going to continue back to farm. He's also getting close to level 11, I'm sure. And that does mean his Swarm will be applying -12 armor instead of the -6, so something else to keep in mind here as far as that potential comes out. Also, I wanted to mention this here, Swindle. Slicks is going for a tablet, it looks like. So he's not even going the, I'm going to be kind of that semi-carry to hard carry even for your team, at least at this rate. Going the tablet of command. You like that choice?
You can do a lot of things on MOA when you have a War Beast and a Dampier. So you pretty much have your huge magical damage carry in Dampier and your huge physical damage carry in Keizu. So
yeah,
he can really do whatever he wants. It's not bad here. I don't know if Push Book is necessarily the best, but it works here. He could have also, there really aren't that many other items he could have gone for in this sort of game. Diffusal, Shrunken Head, but Push Book's not that bad. It gives some good stat. I think a Sackstone would have probably been a better choice, as they do not have one, and that's just 3 armor for the whole team you could have. So that's what I would have liked to see, but Tablet of Commands is not bad.
Shrunken Head is coming up on Keizu as well, playing that Warby. So big item pickups coming up here, including also a portal key on Dampier. Again, he has a Grimoire. He's level 14. This top lane, who is that? It's Wild Soul. It is Wild Soul. He does have investment, so he's going to tank up quite a bit of damage. See the bear spawned. Will he get an entangle? Yes, he will. He's going to try to run away now. Chain reaction is just going to miss right there. And Justice fan should be more than fine. So yeah, especially with that. And actually, Torture's like, I'm dead. You know what? Just kill me. Kill me now. He gets a distraction for his teammate at least, but well, they got a counter kill.
There's the bottom tower going down though, and that's where the lack of the deny comes back to haunt them, as they just pretty much handed tmsR an extra 1,000 gold.
Sure.
Came a little bit later, but now they have it. Their advantage is now 2,000 and 5,000 in experience, and they're going to keep pushing bottom because we just saw they just teleported all 4 heroes to top.
Yeah, this is going to be a free secondary tower kill most likely. In fact, Dampier, if anything, he was maybe the one that needed to be careful, but he does exactly just that. He bees careful, if that makes any sense, and he's going to go over the Ancients instead and farm that up. So there's the secondary tower dead, just like that, as you were referring to. And right now, Lion Esports Club just trying to decide, you know, how do we mitigate our losses here? I think it starts with maybe getting back to the base, because Warbeast does not want this to be finished yet. Although it looks like they are going to start finally falling back now. But more map control well in favor of Too Much Sugar here. I mean, the Mocker Brilliance, it is coming, and he actually has enough for the Sword of the High here. But he'll still need the pattern, of course. So he's going to have a Mocker Brilliance in the nearer future, at least. But still doesn't have it yet.
For a zero death Wild Soul, it's so late. I mean, he did go a lot of build up, but he just needed that so much faster. They still definitely have a chance here, but top, sorry.
Yeah, they're trying. Ugh, it's not going to be enough though. They just didn't have the follow up. I mean, that's a lot of minus armor on Dampier. Look at that, minus 12, minus 13. With the Storm Cloud and the Swarm, but they could not follow it up. Good support coming out, and he is fine in the end.
That's how this game, I mean, once they get that mock, yeah, here we go. They're going right back in on Dampier.
They want to try it again. The Swarm is applied, and Pill comes out, but there's support nearby, including porting in. Dampier's dropping, but not fast enough. Warbeast has ulti. Not going to use it, though. Ophelia's on the run. Can she at least survive? I don't think so. She's going to be chased back. We do see Demented Chama Cecilia. Ophelia not going to be the same story, though. Once again, Hanskin will get picked off. Great support there from the Hellborn team. Middle in the meantime, Engineer actually trying to get away right here. He is going to be fine in the end as Slicks cannot chase him down, but counter kill happening at the top.
Yeah, another thing to note there, for this entire game, it seems like Hanskin said really subpar creeps. I think he had a Vagabond Skeleton Catman there. I mean, if he could just grab a Skeleton Minnow or Skeleton Minotaur, that's a kill. And I guess he's just not been able to find those, but it's really unfortunate when your Ophelia does not have those optimal creeps. Yeah. It does look like he will be going for the barrier. Demented Shaman did pick up the Sackstone, and Pesty's working on that BK Shrunken Head. But I think that kind of shows, like, they are losing the fights, they are really far behind, but a big initiation onto Dampier with the minus armor and 1 root, and Dampier will die before he can get a spell off. I mean, he's running around with 0 armor with a level 2, what's it called, Swarm on him.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe that also leads to what Dampier may go for next year. I mean, he has the Portal Key, he has the Grimoire, but maybe that was also a sign to him, like, you know what, I might need to bulk up a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see, again, how Haxorn decides to follow this up. He has 2,200 gold saved up, so well on his way to whatever that is. Now, you think maybe something like a Shrunken Head, but when there's a lot of physical presence coming out, is that the best choice? So do you think a Shrunken Head is necessary? I mean,
it's really a tough decision here. The one thing to notice, his team does not have a Sackstone yet, so that's 3 armor he's missing as well. The Abyssal wasn't near him for that last fight, so he'll have about 4. If you factor out the DS Ultimate, but you could see a Bulwark here, but in all honesty, I would not be uncomfortable with the Geos. I think that's probably still his best choice.
Okay. Bulwark probably going to be on Warbeast here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so
and the Geos not only gives armor thanks to the agility gain, which is pretty substantial, but it also gives the move speed and the dispel of the Swarm, along with all debuffs on you. So that's what I would go for, especially when you play against a hero like DS.
Yeah. Very, very true. Yeah, that's another thing to know. I mean, Dampier is an agility-focused hero, actually, in the end. He may make it seem like he's more the intellect-style hero, but no, primary stat, of course, is agility. Mocker Brilliance is finished by Jonas and Fan, playing the Wild Soul, so about a 22-minute mock. He managed it, especially with no deaths, maybe a little bit slower than he would have liked, but hey, he has it in the end. So at least they got that going for them. 1,900 gold saved up on DS. Flensmeister's, you know, he had great farm from the beginning, but he eventually did get the Sackstone. He does have 2,000 gold saved up, so it just seems like you'd expect it to maybe even be a little bit further progressed as a result of how the game's been going. But at least, again, he's doing what he can. Shaman's Headdress on Ophelia. So he talked about the barrier out of more than likely. There's the Shrunken on Dampier, so see that coming out. Another tablet going to be made, actually, this one by Aluna. And then
tmsR in a pretty dominating position. I was just about to say that they've been able to do Kongor for about the past 6 or 7 minutes, and they are going to finally move over and try and do it. Bulwark finished on Keizu. They're looking really strong here. Lions have a chance, but they lost the early game pretty hard, and they didn't even lose it, honestly. They just kind of got outplayed. That's all it comes down to. They just got outmaneuvered, and they did about pretty much a whole heap of nothing for a long time, and now they're really far behind, and if this token goes the way of Dampier, he's going to be really hard to take down, especially with that shrunken up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be stopped. I mean, they don't really have they have the Sword of Sight here, but it's obviously not seeing anywhere close to the Kongor pit. And actually, it's going to be countered by Fitsuke even. So maybe it looks like Lions may realize, okay, something's up, but they're going to get there too late. Here we go, though. The Impel Stun initiation. Flies activated, though. He wants to run away, realizing that this is not the timing that they were looking for. Engineer bursted down before Engineer. Nice port back on a Pestilence, at least. So he will survive in the long run. Ophelia has a Skeleton King. She needs to get away herself, though. The Skeleton Kings are one thing. He's going to go for the TP. It ain't going to happen, though. Down goes Hanskin yet again. And 2 players end up getting picked off with a token alive still on Dampier. So, again, that was just bad timing by Lion Esports Club right there to dive the Kongor pit.
It comes down to as well to the fact that they had no warding and their bear was not into scout. I mean, that fight's not bad. If you put the bear in about 5 to 6 seconds early, it does a good 300 AoE damage to the whole team, and then you take the fight. But when the bear doesn't even show up before they've already taken the token and started to fight you, you have no chance of winning that. And once again, I think Lions is tilting here because this is really uncharacteristic of them. I felt like they've played much better in scrims. In fact, I believe I watched them beat tmsR in like 2 or 3 consecutive scrims recently, and they're they're looking just not as good. They look like a tier B team and against this team.
Oh, Pestilence going to initiate. This is going to be big, actually. And Tango comes out. Luna's going to be locked down. Can they get Master of Farm? Stormcloud applied. He is going to start losing that armor. Going to go for another Entangle Impalement. No, he misses the Impale. That's big right there. Great juke from Slicks. He has a tablet in 10 more seconds. Not even close enough, though. So it will still fall in the end. Man, he almost actually got away right there. But wasn't to be. So, at least, hey, if you are until, again, get back a level is a couple of kills like that, and now a tower kill on top of that most likely. So some signs of life once again for Lions at least coming out here. But
and that's one thing, they are really far behind, but you can easily throw against a Wild Soul. I mean, he can rax you in about 10 seconds, especially with an Ophelia behind him. So I still think tmsR is going to have this game quite easily, but you never know. And a lot comes down to whatever Haxorn chooses to build as his next item. If it's something like bad, then he could be a lot worse off. Like a heart, for example, would be just an absolutely terrible item choice here. Yeah. I think you've got to go for a Geos at this point, and I don't see any other item is even coming close. You could go for an AC, of course, or Demonic, of course, but Warbeast is going for that, so I really hope he goes Geos. I'll be sad otherwise.
Yeah, again, I feel like he might have bought something, so I didn't necessarily see it, but we'll find out here shortly, I'm sure. And you definitely see where the Geometer's Bane would be the prime choice here. 2,800 more gold on Demented Shaman. Okay, he has a Blessed Orb, so he's going to be picking up a Sheep Stick here, most likely. Good pickup.
Yeah, of course. I think a staff could have been nice too, but there's so many shrunken heads now on the other side. They need that CC. They're gonna have to go for a pesty initiation, followed by the sheep stick, and they just have to kill something if they want to win this game. The one thing to note: barrier soon to be finished on Ophelia. Pestilence soon to have that shrunken head. And now imagine if they had these items like 3 or 4 minutes ago, and they weren't 8,000 behind. Like, that's the strength of this lineup. If they were just pub training with those items and these heroes, there's really nothing tmsR would be able to do. But they're in just such a big hole right now that I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. And as you can see, Haxorn did pick up the Firebrand, so he will be going for that Geos whenever he has enough cash. And only 3.5 minutes on the token, so looks like they're going to go push top.
That's where the rest of his team is. He's going to be joining them, of course. Warbeast. I saw him purchase the Warp Cleft, and if that's the case, he definitely has enough for the Demonic now, but if anything, you know, buyback also pretty important, so we'll see if that maybe comes up here in the near future. Top tower, though, falling quickly. Vulnerability comes out. Here's the initiation. Pestilence going to be the turn of choice. Dampere jumps in. The Consume comes out, and down goes Pestilence. Tower's going to fall. You see Boo Boo Wild Soul doing what he can in the background. Nobody dead yet, though, in the Hellborn team. They are diving. Buyback from Pestilence, however. Can they make something happen? Double tap for Haxorn, but now Haxorn being locked down. The minus armor's applied. He's dropping fast with a vampiric flight. The Terrorize, the lifesteal is going to keep him alive for now. Ophelia's touch comes out, though. Speaking of lifesteal, and unfortunately, I have lagged. It should catch up here in a couple of seconds. Okay, they did pick off Torture, but Dampere survived. Oh no, Token of Life was used. Okay. So, well, that must be weird for you, Swindle, but had some lag spike there. Anyways, and they at least get the Token of Life used with that buyback.
Double buyback, though, on Pestilence Ophelia. So it turns out as a 2 for 2 with the tower, but obviously the token means that Dampere loses nothing from that death.
Yeah.
And that means that the barrier idol will be delayed by another 2 minutes or so, along with the Shrunken Head, which are pretty big items to not have for the upcoming team fights. Lions is going to have to farm those out before the next token spawns, or I really do not think they can win another fight, or rather, win a fight against a token Dampere.
Yeah. And especially with that Geometer's Bane now finished on Dampere, so being delivered to him as we speak. Warbeast did, yeah, he chose to kind of change his path a little bit, instead of going the Brutalizer build here. But now most likely the Demonic Breastplate going to be next in line, especially with that increased attack speed as you get from the Demonic, helping with that Brutalizer that much more. So they're buying as much time as possible. I mean, the Sheepstick on Dimension Shaman, obviously good. The Shrunken Head, yeah, still not even finished on Pestilence, man. He's been working on that for a while now. Has over 300 gold per minute, but has not been able to actually complete that. Most certainly a big deal. Where's Wild Soul? What does the bear have? Okay, Abyssal Skull and working on the Souls himself. So they still don't have a Souls themselves, actually. That's actually pretty big, too. Here on the Legion side, so.
And the Ring of the Teacher's gone as well, so that's about 5 armor that they will not have.
So we see right here, boom, boom, nope, gonna be fine. Able to get him away in time.
It just comes down to the strength of the mid lane. I mean, you run 2 range with a War Beast, you'll beat pretty much anything. Oh, but oh, wow, Dampier's actually getting caught. Pops the BKB. Break, you want to go?
Shrunken is going to be using now Pestilence. The consume is not enough. He's going to barely survive. Never mind. Dampier chases him down with the Portkey. Meanwhile, over here, they catch Wild Soul out. Wild Soul falls. Ophelia says sayonara. His minions are going to be picked off. Again, I didn't catch the initial engagement there, but obviously we saw Pestilence eventually die, as well as Wild Soul, and that could be the absolute beginning of the end now for Line Esports Club here.
DS was unable to get the sheep stick off. They initiated well, but there was no sheep. Otherwise, Dampier probably would have died there. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the kills to seal the game. There is another buyback on Pestilence, but that'll be his last one. And I don't think they have a chance anymore.
They're going to push down this middle lane, or will they? I mean, sheep stick coming out on Dampier right here. They're trying to follow it up. See the amp damage coming out from Ophelia. Port coming out right there. And actually, Dampier, he's going to be in trouble here. Swarm is going to be applied most likely. Master's Call comes out. There's a Swarm. Do they have the damage on Pestilence? Realizing he's not in the good spot. Energy Field comes out. Warbeast jumps back in. The consume from Dampier. It's almost as if they wanted this to happen. Down goes Demented Shaman. Ophelia's picked off. Pestilence flying away. He probably will live in the end, but I mean, how about that? Big turnaround right there. And Dampier, back to the tower he goes. That was just...
That's the thing about Dampier. If you don't kill him right away, he's full health right away. Because a lot of people don't know this, but the consume, and one of the reasons Grimoire is so effective, the W of Dampier doesn't heal more based on damage, but the ultimate heals the amount of damage done. So when you have a Grimoire, that's a 640 times 115%. So that's a lot. I think it's like 700 to 750. So that's just pure heal, because as you know, healing isn't affected by magic armor or anything like that. So it's pretty powerful.
So that's why you need Lord Salforus here on the Legion side.
Wouldn't be bad.
Would have made sense against the Dampier. No, yeah, it's big turn on there.
I've watched a lot of scrims. I've seen Lord Salforus go 4-0. So maybe he's something we need in the competitive scene. I don't know.
Lord Salforus, man, I'm telling you, he is a pretty good hero. So. I know Emperor's been running him quite a bit over there in Southeast Asia. Over there in the G League over there. Anyways, back to this game. 31 minutes in. We have a 1-0 series lead for Too Much Sugar. They're trying to close it out here, but obviously Line Esports Club doing what they can to hold it off. I mean, where's Wild Soul has 1,700 gold? Does he even have the Soul's Bulwark yet? I don't think he does. Where the hell is the bear? Oh, there he is. And yeah, still no Soul's Bulwark. He has the gold for it, actually, but... not just yet. Lex Talionis on Torture. Nope, he sold it. Never mind. Middle lane in the meantime. Dampier finds Demented Shaman, though. Consume comes out, and Flensmeister falls. Could not get anything off. Not even the Unbreakable Engineer in the meantime. He's going to get picked off to the side. Master of Arms finds him, and he too will fall. So it's just going to continue. I mean, the golden experience is just getting bigger and bigger now for Too Much Sugar. And although Lions Esports isn't giving up, again, it just continues to be a case of when is enough. Pestilence, still no Shrunken Head.
Yeah, I like tmsR's drafting a lot better in this series than in the past. Moon obviously switching to second support, Haxman taking the carry might have something to do with that, but it seems like they're just going for a much more balanced type of lineup, and it's not as 1-4 focused, which in my opinion has been dead in the meta for a very long time.
That's actually a fun point. I mean, again, with this lineup, these players here on this lineup for Too Much. I mean, last game made the point that, and we saw Slicks actually play the Moon Queen last game, but this time, you know, you got Haxman playing that carry role on Dampier, so I guess kind of interchangeable in that sense as far as who's going to play what. And it's going to be interesting to see this team develop, especially if Haxman is absolutely their new fifth and going to be sticking with them. So they're waiting for Conger right here, but you see Fitzcase, like, I think we might have mistimed this a little bit. So I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be spawning. Yeah, they realized, okay, maybe we were a little too early, and they decided to fall back before getting caught out. What about the Lex Talionis pickup by Torture? What is your take on Lex Talionis?
It's one of the best late game items. I think the intended use was for supports to get it early on, but you don't have the stats to invest so much into it. But in the late game, it's really, really effective because maxed out, obviously, -5 armor, -3 magic armor. It's one of the only items in the game that reduces magic armor as well. So it's a really, really incredible item.
There you go.
It can actually, if you don't have investment, it'll take you below obviously your baseline magic armor. So you would do more damage as a Dampier than you would even think possible.
So Oh, good pickup coming up from Fiske, I think is the moral of the story. Speaking of Dampier, he's going in right here. Demented Shaman yet again. The focus fire. He gets the heals off this time. Barely staying alive. Barely staying alive. Energy field comes out. Demented Shaman will live in the process, but will it matter? Down goes Ophelia. Pestilence in the background, locking out Master of Arms. Dampier, Sheepstick. He comes out though. Warmy's in ulti form. Look at Wild Soul gets caught in the midst that he just gets melted. And Pestilence, Lex Talianos apply. The Impale Stun comes out, but again, it's just when is enough for Lion Esports Club. He's trying to live right here. Super KG, the ring around the freaking Rosie. Not going to matter. A genocide for nothing in favor of tmsR.
I know the game's pretty much over at this point anyway, but that whole fight, Jonas and Fan was attacking the tower as his team was dying around him. So I think that's just further evidence that this team is just not playing at their effect. They're just not peaked at the moment. They're playing at like 60% of usual. And I don't know if that's because they're just outmatched in this game, or I mean, obviously the lead's pretty insurmountable at this point, but it's just not the same Lions team I've been watching for the past couple of months.
Again, I think it's safe to say, I mean, they had a fairly disappointing finish, and even last night, all those 5th, 6th, they got knocked out by Team Excellent, 2-1 in that series there, so maybe disappointing finish there, and then here we are getting tough challenge in Too Much Sugar by all means, but I mean, I do agree with you. There definitely is something there for Lion Esports Club that it just seems like something's a little off. You know, we'll see if going into tomorrow in the losers bracket, if that changes, maybe just a bad day, you'll have them, but moving forward, who knows? Dampier with a wing bow, by the way, purchase, so wow, he is hitting fast, and again, especially with that buff that happened to his Bloodthirst, where 3 charges are consumed, you get plus 30 attack speed even with that. So there you go, yeah. It's thinking about it, not going to happen.
There are other series going on that are still like just starting game 2.
Yeah, you know, I was actually going to say that. Obviously, rather than just wrapping things up here, I mean, there's still plenty of HoN to go. So, so with that said, to kind of wrap up that series though real quickly, Too Much Sugar obviously taking the series 2-0 there over Lion Esports Club and feeling pretty good, I'm sure, about that victory. And obviously, they're going to be matched up against Yusuf and Melon. So that's kind of cool. You got to watch firsthand there as far as what they're going to do. So, but you guys yourselves are also looking pretty damn good. So I'm sure you're pretty confident as always going into a matchup against them. But any final words about that series before we do move on here?
Not really. It was nice. I felt like both teams had even drafts and well played. Those are 2 of the top 5 teams in HoN, so it'll be interesting to see how their relationship develops over the course of the HoN Tour season.
It will be. It will be. And okay, so let's look here to see what